Hello, my friends. Game 4 of the Northstar tournament. So game 1 and 2 saw me doing pretty well. Game 3 was the single most one-sided Warhammer game I'd ever personally experienced, and it was handed to me by a nice demon prince who decided to take some death magic and just shove it down my throat, possibly up my butt. Either way, it was a painful experience. I got that battle report posted. I don't ever have to think about it again, and I've got a glass of scotch here to help me to get over my emotions and help me tell the story of Game 4. Hopefully it'll go a little bit better. So what's Game 4 got for us? Well, I walk up to the table, meet my opponent. His name's Nick. He's also from Duluth, Minnesota, where my last opponent was. They're really good friends. They play together all the time. So I know right off the bat it's probably going to be a pretty hard list. And it's Dark Elves. That's pretty cool because I've only played Dark Elves maybe once before, and I don't really remember them. So I know a lot of the tricks they have. You know, you hear about all the BS the old Dark Elves can pull, but I don't have a good feel for it. You know what I mean? I've got that. I don't really know how to react yet. I wish I had fought them a little more. But this is the 7th edition Dark Elf book. They've got a new book at this point in time, but the tournament said it wasn't out long enough for us to officially say, you know, it could be part of the tournament. So this is probably the last game of the 7th edition Dark Elves will have. So hopefully I can do something good here. Deployment is basically normal. The idea in this game is you want to get into your opponent's deployment zone. So it's major objective points if you get a scoring unit completely in their zone by the end of the game, and minor points if you defend yours and your opponent does not do that. So yeah, let's get it on. So here's deployment. We've got this Temple of Skulls here in the middle that looks really good, but it's not impassable terrain even though it looks like it. So eventually we'll pick that damn thing up. I'll try to let you know when it just disappears in the pictures. But he's got Cold One Knights, a group of Blackguard. I have marked that the Sorceress is in there, but she's not. She's in the group of Spears. You can kind of see her there. So it's just Blackguard. He's got the old style Cauldron of Blood there, obviously, so it can give the ward save or killing blow, whatever it needs to give. To whatever unit needs. Then the spears are there just to be next to the, I believe it's a level 2 on Shadow. Possibly level 1, but I'm thinking it's level 2. And she's got the sacrificial dagger, so those spears are just there to feed the dagger. He's got a big old group of Corsairs. I believe those are Corsairs, about 35 strong. Then he's got his Supreme Sorceress, Rock on the Lore of Death, level 4, on the Dark Pegasus. Now, I don't know really how the inverse ward save worked, because I actually have never really looked through the old Dark Elf book. I just know, basically, I think you have to roll, like, he fails only on a 6. I think that's how it works. It's just impossible to get stuff through. So she's going to be pretty safe. Then, rounding out the list is a single Hydra. So, on my side, I've got my Doom Diver, my A-Rock, my Black Orcs with Grimgore in them, 3 Trolls. Then I've got a Doom Diver kind of protected back there with a Wolf Chariot right in front of it, kind of hiding. Then I've got my BSB level 2 Shaman with the Savages and my Night Goblins with the level 1. I touched about this in the other battle reports, that it was really hurting me, that not just not having level 4 for the casting into spell power, but not having the access to the spells. And this is a great example. In this one, I believe I roll Here We Go and Fists of Gork, which are just combat buffs. And I got to run at him. He's not going to run at me, you know. So it's one of these things where my magic is really, really affected by not having a good lore. Or it's not that it's a bad lore, but it's not a lore that I can fall back on a sig spell that really does that much. And that's all my choice. You know, I knew that going in, but I just noticed how not having a level 4 has been really, really a pain. And I was kind of thinking about that for 9th edition. Anyway, I've got some thoughts on maybe how they could change that. But anyway, so I'm just going to have to run as fast as I can. I do not have any hand or foot to either put the pressure on them or help me move my guys up. So here's a nasty blurry picture, but it just shows how the battle line looks. And the last thing he deploys is his Shades. And then we go to the first turn, and he says, hey, look, I'm going to declare my Assassins in there. So the Assassin's got the Rending Stars, the Man-Bane. Basically, he's got multi-shots, and he's always hitting and wounding on 2s is how it comes out. So on his turn, moves the Hydra up forward. He's just going to come at my lines with it, and he flies his pretty invulnerable Dark Pegasus, level 4, to start throwing some nasty spells down my lines. And I know I'm freshly aware of how painful that's going to be. Then he moves his Cold One riders forward just a little bit, and he looks at me and says, I'm sorry. I'm just not going to come to you. I apologize. And we laughed about it, and I said, listen, it's a tournament, man. I know you're not going to come to me. I got to come to you. But he was a good sport about it and apologized. But, yeah, I wouldn't in his position either. You know where the Orcs are going to go, and you're a shooting army. You got to plan for it, so it's all good. We go to the magic phase. It's 11 dice to 6. He throws out Power of Darkness. Remember, it's the old version, so all the casters know it. Generates himself up to 12 power dice, so it's 12 to 6. Then he throws a Spirit Leech in my BSB. I let it go because I know it's a D6 on D6, and I've got a big magic phase to weather. Plus, he has a 4-up ward, and I roll a 1. So what I had done this morning, remember this is day 2 of the tournament. Yesterday, I had forgot that you could donate like $20 to the charity this whole tournament's for and get a tournament reroll die. So I had run over, done that, pick up the die, reroll it, and roll a 1 again. Screw that charity, man. Taking my money and giving me 1s. But at least I have a 4-up ward save. Nah, he rolls like a 5 or 6, and I take 4 wounds. I think I took 4 wounds through the ward save. Like, I think he had more than that. So the BSB's dead turn 1. That's not good. That's a pretty crucial component for the Orcs and Goblins. Whee! Anyway, he ends up getting a couple dice back because it's Lord Death, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks. Then he tries to throw 6 dice. I take that back. I don't know how many he threw, but he tried for a Pit of Shades. The large one on my Savage Orcs, and I threw 6 dice to stop it. Ended up using my Dispel Scroll to stop Purple Sun, and I think that arrow's coming from the wrong spot. Yeah, so that arrow is showing the Pit of Shades, then the Chicky Boo on the right throws the Purple Sun. I use the Dispel Scroll on that, so I'm basically burning through everything real quick. And he tries Power of Darkness on his second caster to get a few more dice. He gets 2, but ends up failing to do anything on Fate of Bajuna. I think it just fails to cast. So that could have gone way, way, way worse. I'm feeling actually pretty lucky there. But burning the Dispel Scroll helps, and then just helps get me some catching back up with the dice. Now I'm not going to have it anymore. So I've really got to get into combat. During shooting, he puts 2 wounds on the Doom Diver, but it's only 2. The Shades don't do anything. It's all from the Assassin. But he gets to shoot again, so that's good. We go to Orcs turn 1. I move my Goblins up just enough to release the Fanatics, and I know he's not going to do much, but I got to try. So I throw 1 at the Regen Hydra, and I throw 1 at the Invulnerable Chick, and they both stop short. But if we can mess up anything, I mean, it's all we got at this point. Trolls fail Stupidity, no reroll, but Grimgore's nearby, needed a 9, failed Stupidity, they stumble forward. So because they're kind of blocking my Savages and I can't quite get around, I just make it so if he's going to charge, it'll be in the front, but there's no way he's going to charge. Black Orcs move up, my Arachnarok moves out, and my Chariot just kind of turns to maybe go help. In fact, here's a better picture. Over here you can see where my Arachnarok was going. I want to chase those cold ones, and then my Chariot can kind of decide if he's going to go after the cold ones or maybe turn around and go for the Shades, but he'll get shot up. We go to my magic phase at 7 dice to 4. Like I said, I've got bad spells. I throw 6 dice to Itchy Nuisance to try to slow down the Supreme Sorceress. I know she can fly, but maybe I can slow her a bit. He lets it go, and or maybe I just got it through, but I only slowed her 1 inch of movement, so she's only flying like 19 now. During shooting, the first Doom Diver hits, gets 3 hits on the Shades, and I roll 2 2s. So only do 1 wound, kill 1 of the Shades. And I decide, you know what, screw it. Yeah, the reverse ward save sucks, but maybe I'll get lucky. And Doom Diver 2 aims at the Supreme Sorceress, but the reverse ward save saves it like we would expect. So, Dark Elf turn 2, the Hydra goes into the Goblins, and I fail my Terror test without the reroll, and I'm actually outside of leadership here. But fail it, and run, he runs me down, so the Goblins are gone. But they weren't long for this world anyway, I just needed to... Ideally, they would have held a little longer. We go to the magic phase at 6 dice to 4. He throws Power of Darkness first to get himself 3 more dice. I have to let that go. So now it's 9 to 4. He throws Enfeebling Foe on just 2 dice, and he uses the dagger to get himself to like a 10. I was able to dispel it on 2 dice alone with my level 2 caster. It was level 2 versus level 2, so that was good. That was a little risky, but I got it off. Then he throws Purple Sun. He gets it with Irresistible Force, and it's a misfire on the Artie dice, which is great. She avoids. I don't think that die there represents that she took a hit. I can't recall. At some point, she takes one hit and that's it. But it lands on her. Doesn't get sucked into the warp. Doesn't get instantly killed by it because she makes her initiative save. But ends up losing all the dice in the power pool, which is actually pretty nice. In shooting, the Doom Diver gets finished off, which is nice that it actually took 2 turns, and he had a chance to shoot back. And that's about it for his turn. Orc's turn 2. My Fanatic decides to be a hero, goes like 12 inches through the Hydra, does 1 wound. 1 wound sneaks by the regen, which is pretty fun. The other Doom Diver's just piddling around up there on his own. Everyone else just rushes forward. I don't fail fear with my trolls now, so I'm just going to use them to try to block those Corsairs. I try to use that little piece of rock to hide the flank of my savages, but they're kind of slow moving and they're big. I can't do much, so I'm just trying to rush here. Black Orcs go up on the hill. Nobody ends up using the Temple of Skulls, but we considered it. And then I looked at Grimgore's sheet. I'm like, why would I even risk him? The guy's already just an insane killer of worlds. So at no point in the game does anyone try, and pretty soon we're going to remove that hill. Arachnarok goes up, and I end up failing a charge on my Arachnarok with the trying to go into those cold ones. I thought that would have been pretty nice, but failed the charge. He only goes a few inches forward, and then I decided to bring the Chariot down, throw a couple bow shots this turn at the Shades, and then hopefully he'll take a turn shooting the Chariot, and it'll buy me some time to get that Arachnarok into combat. Let's see. On Magic, it's 9 dice to 5. I get Fists of Gorkov because that's remains in play. We'll just get ready. And he dispels. Here we go, but no one's in combat, so it's not a big deal. During shooting, my Doom Diver drifts off his cold ones, which would have been pretty nice because that thing would wreck them good, but drifts way, way off the board, so I can't correct. Down here, I take my few bow shots and don't get anything. Go to Dark Elf turn 3. This is before he's moving here. He's going to move his cold ones out of the charge arc of the Arachnarok, which is pretty smart because it would love to sink its claws into them. Here's a picture where we've just removed the boards. Now you can see where everyone actually is with that stupid hill in the way. And you can see he's angled his... those aren't Corsairs, I think they're Blackguard. Angled the Blackguard in. I'm still in his front, but he's kind of just shoring up his lines. You can see the cold ones are out of the way. Go to Magic Phase. It's 3 dice to 2. Power Darkness gets him 3 more, though, right off the bat. It's like, God. He throws Small Purple Sun, just a small one, and I can't stop it with my 2 Dispel dice. Kills 18 of my 25 remaining savages. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. I don't remember why I only had 25, but I think there was only 25 at the time. But yeah, 18. I mean, there's nothing super broken here. This is just the way it works when you've got slow savages getting this. But it's just, I'm super impressed by the mobility and invulnerability of having a caster on a Pegasus like that. I mean, I've thrown a Vampire Lord and done similar things like that before, but they're always so fragile. In this case, man, I just have to keep going forward because I can't turn around. I can't outmaneuver this dude. I'm very happy to see the reverse ward save go away. I mean, they're still going to be tough in the next book, but yeah, it's just kind of like a mini Demon Prince, and I mean, this is the lore that's messing with me. So, anyway, that's what happens. Where the red pip die is, that's where the vortex is, but I believe I'll just dispel it on my turn pretty quickly. The Assassin drops 1 wound in the Arachnarok, which could have been worse, and I'm fine with that. He can shoot at him all day. He's got 8 wounds, so that's good. On my turn, I try to charge the Savages. I think I needed like a 9. I rolled pretty poorly. The Black Orcs do make their charge, and then I just move my Trolls up. I don't charge my Trolls into the Corsairs. I don't really see much of a reason to. I can just take an extra turn. You know, it's not going to do much because I couldn't really move them to roadblock. They'll just overrun if they beat him anyway, but at least they'll do it on his turn instead of mine. Instead of 2 turns of combat, I guess. Probably doesn't really make much of a difference. That orange arrow you can barely see shows that my Arachnarok failed his charge. I wanted him, the A-Rock would have come in the flank of the Blackguard and would have really helped. And it wasn't a long charge either, but, I mean, this entire tournament so far, my Arachnarok has just not made charges. And, unfortunately, I think it was only needed like an 8 or a 9. I just rolled really poorly on Swift Stride. So, that sucked. But I think the Black Orcs should do pretty well. We'll see. Go to the Magic phase. It's 5 dice to 3. I get Here We Go off, which is kind of redundant on the Black Orcs, but I wanted it on the Savages as well. And if Grimgor dies, they'll still have re-rolling. So then, and it's re-rolling all the time, not just the first round. During shooting my Doom Diver, the other one just aims at the shades, drifts off. In close combat, Grimgor goes first, kills like 4. And then he throws a couple attacks back on him, and like the only one that makes it through is a 6 on the killing blow from the cauldron, and that sucks because I only have a 5-up. I have a 1-up armor save and only a 5-up ward, and I fail it, and Grimgor dies to one lucky ass elf. It was like, oh come on, that sucks. But that's the risk that happens. He didn't want to charge or he didn't want to challenge, and I didn't either for some reason, but I probably should have now that I think about it. So learn for next time. And you can see here after combat's over, I mean, I've lost a good amount of numbers. I've got extra hand weapons, but he's down to like just maybe 1 rank, maybe a few models over. If that Ragnarok had got in with Thunder Stomps and, I mean, I know he's stubborn, but yeah, I might have been able to just kill him out. And that was my plan, get the Ragnarok into the flank and then overrun into his spears or into the Corsairs at the time. Actually, I might have been able to angle it such that I could have gotten into the Cauldron as well. Not sure. So we're going to do Dark Elf turn 4. I think I'm missing... I'm looking at the wrong page of notes. Sorry about that. He charges into the Trolls. That's about it here. We go to Magic. It's 4 dice to 2. He throws Power of Darkness out first with 2 Dispel dice. I just had to weather that last phase. The only thing I'm going to be able to try to stop is Power of Darkness, even though he's got it on 2 casters, and I failed to stop it, so now it's 6-0. He throws Spirit Leech on my Shaman, and we do the tie, so I don't take any wounds there. He fails to cast Fate of Buna on my Shaman, which is nice. He gets Enfeebling Foe off on the Black Orc, so that's going to really hurt their combat punchiness, unfortunately. And then I believe he tried to go for Withering on the Black Orcs, but failed to cast. So that could have been way worse. But at the same time, it's kind of feeling a little pointless for me anyway. Those Black Orcs, I need them to roll well even through the Enfeebling Foe. Blows up the Chariot down here with his Shades, which is okay. Its job was to soak up a couple shots. So then he lays a Flame Template down on the Doom Diver, and I don't think it does anything because it was versus Toughness 7, so no wounds there. Go into combat, and he just busts through the Trolls. I think he kills 1 and busts through them with combat res. I break. His Corsairs get into my Savages, which, yeah, they're going to make work of them, but at least I'm not going to be getting shot anymore. My Trolls get away. Now they're on the other side, but they're out of the General's range, so they're just going to be gone for pretty much the rest of the game. And in combat up here, he just wins combat res, has enough guys, and catches me. Breaks me and catches me, so the Black Orcs get just completely wiped out. And then this just shows here that he wiped him out, hit his group, bounced an inch back, and that's basically it. You call the game at this point. The Black Orcs had their extra hand weapons, but even with Here We Go, I mean, they were just withered and lost Choppas in that first round, so just couldn't do enough. It was close, but he did a good job allocating the right number of attacks and getting lucky there to kill Grimgor. I just couldn't pull through. But this game was a pretty good blowout for him. I think I ended up getting 6 points, maybe? I'm trying to remember, so I don't have it in front of me, but I think it was about 6 points. So it wasn't a complete blowout, but it was pretty close. And it was fun. I definitely see what people complain about the Dark Elves. I don't want to make all my opponents and make them seem like, oh, they've got broken lists. But it's a tournament. Everyone's going to bring the tough stuff. And I did not have a very competitive army for this build here. I mean, if I would have gotten in combat, as you can see, I just chopped through the guys. But he was able to kind of dance around me, use the right magic, the right tool for the job, and I couldn't really make a couple of charges that, had luck been a little more on my side, I could have gotten in and maybe changed it, because, I saw that the second I got in with my Black Orcs. Yeah, they're scary, but not in combat. They're going to hit a little bit, but if you got the numbers, they're still toughness 3. They die like crazy. So with a little less pressure of me having to run up on them, maybe I could have had some more shooting, or if I had rolled on the spells better, a Footed Gork might have done some nasty damage there. But I'm actually fairly intrigued by the Dark Elves, and I might be picking up some Dark Elf units, maybe a Dark Elf army here pretty soon. I'm trying to sell my Bretonnians, and I think I have someone who might want to buy them, and if I do, I think that money's going to go right to some Dark Elves. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's game 4. One left, but it doesn't look like I'm threatening for any best general or anything like that, so hopefully we'll just have some fun with it. Thanks for watching, guys.